Hi guys. It's kind of weird. I was just sitting here thinking, and I had an idea about what I want to talk about, and the bear went off. So that was my validation. Things been going off a lot. It went off last night too. So first of all the ways to support me are down below. If you want to do so, please like and subscribe. This we do talk about other things here. It's just this is very Spirit is, let's say, pushing a lot of light workers to talk about these sorts of things. Even if you don't like it, if you don't like it and you don't want to watch it, then that's fine. You don't have to. There's no one that forces you to watch any of the videos that I do. There's no one that forces you to be a part of the channel. So honestly, this channel is going to need spiritual people that are in the light, that want to learn and grow and understand, even if they do have different beliefs. That's what this is about. It's not that I want to put down anybody else's beliefs or not listen to what they have to say. But if people are triggered by factual information and by things that I am saying, then I don't know what to say, because the videos that I put out have factual information, it has video proof, and you're getting triggered by that. And people are screaming that it's my ego and because I hate him. Look, I don't hate anybody. I dislike the guy because he's a vile human being and he's a rapist and a predator. And I feel like people that support him slap victims in the face and slap women in the face. And the reason why I wanted to make this video was because I wanted to talk about women and Pluto into Aquarius. And I've discussed this with my astrologist, and we've spoken about how Pluto in Aquarius is a very revolutionary time for women. And that's for all women. It's for women to stand up. It's for the divine feminine. And so I feel like there's going to be this standing up of women, especially after the 19th of November when Pluto goes into Aquarius. It is a revolutionary time. So women may stand up. I mean, I've seen every time I tap into like Trump's energy, I see riots, but I see peaceful protest. I see protesting. It's women are going to stand up more than ever because we are sick of it. The women that actually care, and the women that this actually affects, and the ones that care about their daughters. It seems to me that people that are MAGA, they don't care about women's rights. They just say, oh, it's put to the states. But women are dying because they cannot get care, and that is a factual thing. And it shouldn't be that you have to cross state lines or move out of state or go to 3 different places to get help if your fetus isn't viable, or if you are having a miscarriage, or if something is going wrong. You can look up the mortality rates, and since this ban, the mortality rates have gone up. And I think a lot of women are feeling like, even if this election was stolen per se, and even if it wasn't, whatever the case may be, I think that women are going to start standing up and speaking out for themselves, because they really feel like America just slapped them in the face. Even if things are not always as they seem, even if it's a mirage, there will be some sort of resistance, because we are sick of it. We are sick of being told what we can and can't do with our bodies. And now you have the misogynistic college kids that are now following what Trump is saying. And now Trump is saying 2025 is a real thing. All of his people are, and they're laughing about it. So take what they're saying seriously, even if they're putting LOL, because we've all known and tried to warn you that it was a serious thing. So I see people saying, I hate that you're using your gifts for this. Look, a true speaker is a true speaker. A light worker is a light worker. Just because I work crime doesn't mean that Spirit doesn't pull me into something that's important and give me the visions that I need to get. There may be other light workers that get different visions, but they can show me something else. Do you know what I mean? A lot of light workers are being activated right now. Why do you think that a lot of us are speaking out? We're all getting the same thing. So it's not up to you. I'm sorry. I don't run this channel for you, and I don't run this channel for what you like. I run this channel for Spirit. I run this channel for truth, and I run this channel for peace and love, and to support the truth. And right now, when I wanted to talk about this, the bear went off to confirm that for me. No different when I posted the criminal video of Trump. The bear went off about 5 times in that, validating things. When I told you guys to calm down, relax, everything's okay, things are working behind the scenes in one way or another, something's going to come out differently. I think if you listen to Biden and her speeches about this being over the full speeches, I think you guys will see and be able to kind of, they're hinting at it. But the thing is criminals will always be criminals, and they will always like show their hand in some way, shape, or form. And if they don't think they're being watched, if they think they've gotten away with something, they'll continue to do things. So I can guarantee you probably there's being watched on phone calls and whatnot. And I don't want to give too much of the plan away, as to what Spirit's giving me. But the biggest reason that I wanted to make this video is I see that there's a lot of fear. I see that there's a lot of hurt. I see that there's a lot of betrayal, that we're feeling like America doesn't care about America's women. And honestly, America never really has. There's been times where we've made strides and we've come a long way than where we were in back in the day, right? But I think that people need to understand that it just starts with the medical, it just starts with the, my body, my right. It go from then it will trickle down to women aren't allowed to work. They have to stay home, they have to get married and have kids. Then you have no birth control. And then people have a bunch of kids that that kind of tanks the economy because people can't take care of them. Then more kids, are abandoned or other worse things. And I keep hearing people saying, like, the last 4 years was dark. I don't know what reality you lived in other than the fact that you probably had your own life lessons to learn, but we were rebuilding. We were regrowing. It's called it's called kind of going into a recession and having a pandemic, where if you're saying the last 4 years was horrible, but the 4 years with Trump wasn't, I don't know what reality you're in, because I remember going through a pandemic. I remember everything getting skyrocketed, including the gas. I remember 1.1 million lives lost because of a mishandling of COVID, even though there was directions in the White House that were ignored because of ego. The thing is you can't have somebody run a country that has such an ego problem that won't listen to anybody and thinks he knows everything, because then it becomes dangerous, because he thinks he knows everything about everything. He's said it himself, and then it becomes dangerous because he's not listening to experts. So if there's another pandemic, the same thing will happen. He doesn't learn from his lessons, and the people that follow him don't learn from their lessons. And he talks about the border, but his plan is to round up families, put kids in cages, and I just can't believe that. And he did the first time, and I can't believe that people would allow that or want that, especially the Hispanic community. Um, and that will help tank the economy, because then you're taking away people that work the fields and whatnot. You're using the money to do that. So and another thing I heard was people like, I voted for him because of the economy. Are you joking me right now? Like, did you not do your research? And here, all the economics, every single economics out there said that he will tank the economy with his tariffs and the rounding up of illegals and the tax cuts to the rich. I don't know about you, but I'm not rich. So he did that last time. It's the same plan as last time, plus 2025. So I didn't want to get into all that. I just wanted to address some things that I was seeing in the comments. And also the fact that I noticed that a lot of people talk like him and repeat the same words, which is kind of a sign of brainwashing. But, about how all these rapists and murderers come from over the border. I'm sure there's some. Obviously, we've had cases with it, right? But 52% are white people here in the US. 11% are Hispanics. You can't demonize a race and say just because they're coming over the border, there's hundreds and thousands of rapists and killers. That's anybody can do it. Anybody has the capability of do something like that. It's not a racial thing. So, and I'm not saying that there's not a problem at the border, but you guys are listening to the rhetoric that he's spewing to scare you, to make it seem like he can only save you, which he didn't last time. He didn't do anything last time except for put kids in cages, and make a little bit of a wall and funnel money out of the charity. So my main reason, I didn't mean to get into all that, but I kind of like, when things pop in my head, I feel like I want to address them, and I want to address comments, because I get a lot of I don't know. I get a lot of comments that get triggered off of truth and facts, which is crazy to me. Like, I don't know if they just don't want to see the truth, or the truth hurts, or it's their own denial in the fact that, yeah, maybe I really did vote for a scumbag. Maybe I really did vote for this predator, rapist, fascist person to be somebody that wants to be a dictator. And I don't think any of the psychics were wrong. I mean, me and multiple others saw who we saw, and then others saw Trump. And if for fact he did get elected, but then he ends up not staying president, and she comes up for whatever reason, they do an investigation, the 14th Amendment comes into play, whatever it may be, then nobody was really wrong. We were just seeing it a different way. So what really makes me mad is people unsubscribe that have been subscribed for other reasons over this, and it's kind of ridiculous. And not just my channel, other channels. Um, it's ridiculous because just because you don't agree with what a psychic is saying, why are you a part of a psychic channel? If it triggers you, if the truth triggers you, and if psychic visions trigger you because you don't agree with them, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm not a biased person. I can't help the things that I feel are not biased. What I feel in my gut, what I feel in my heart, that's not biased. The validation from spirit with the bear and the balls that have been happening is not biased. I wish I would have got that on camera because it went off right when I was thinking about doing this. So I took that as an okay. So if you don't like it, I don't know what to say. I don't work for you. I work for spirit. That's what I keep trying to tell you guys. Like, and whoever's followed me for years and whoever knows me knows that when I get passionate about something, I'm passionate about it. I'm a light worker. I speak up for justice right now. I've got Scorpio in my ninth house. It can be a little obsessive right now with me, with speaking the truth and putting out and Libra too. Libra is there too, so that's justice. So with speaking the truth and justice in the ninth house, um and educating and whatnot, that's all part of that Scorpio in that placement. And some things sometimes I will have things like kind of go on in my mind, and until I say it or until I talk about it, it will repeat. But the biggest thing I think is women are going to stand up. Women are tired of being stepped on and treated like crap. This is a different time. We're not in the 1930s. We're not in the 1920s. We're not in the 1950s even. We're in the 2024s. Like, we're in the 2000s. Like, we are supposed to evolve and learn and grow, and we are supposed to learn. That's the thing, is humanity is not learning their lessons. And so lessons will repeat until we learn them. And I pray to God that I'm right and others are right, because if not, we're headed for a very dark time. And people can say no, 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 all they want. But let me tell you, years ago, I seen destruction with Trump. Now, that destruction did come with the pandemic and other things. It's come with the division of people. He doesn't preach he doesn't preach unity and love and compassion. He preaches hate and division. And it's sad because it's almost like those of us that are woke and in the light are trying to help the people in the cult come to reality, but instead they get triggered by factual information and they refuse to believe things or see things another way. And then they come at me and they tell me that I'm biased because I don't like them. I'm sorry. It's a justice channel. I feel for victims. I actually listen to victims, and I don't slap them in the face. And I feel like if he was legitly elected by the US, you guys have done everybody a huge disservice. You've done transgender a huge disservice. You've done women a huge disservice. You've done our economy a huge disservice and everything we built. You've done just humanity a disservice. And you have put somebody that has sexually assaulted women for years in a place of higher up. Imagine if that was your daughter. I always go back to Katie Johnson because I think that one breaks my heart the most. And no telling how many Katie Johnsons there are out there. We just don't know about it. I'm telling you, someone needs to go dig up the coffin. And if you haven't already seen the criminal reading on this, I think you should, because I literally talk about the connection to, Putin and him and that and all that. But there's evidence. There's evidence somewhere. I don't know where the evidence. I feel like it's in the coffin or something. But there's evidence of this that's being hidden. And if you ever want Epstein files out, now you're never gonna see him. He'll probably get rid of them if he ever gets in. So don't ever expect to see that. But this is a time for women, and I want to give you guys some peace and solace about, like, we have a voice and we can stand up for our rights, and we can be that voice, whether you want to send letters to your congressman or your governor or whatever that may be, or you just want to wait it out and push out love and unity and that kind of energy into the world, because it does make a difference. Everything is energy. We can shift and change things because we do have free will. Although there's one main path, there's many different paths that can be chosen that can be changed on free will, which is what I try to explain to people with readings. We could be seeing one path, but say humanity picks another path, and then we go down that direction. And that's all part of learning and growing and evolving. And that has a lot to do with, people and what they choose to do. So a lot of us that are woke, that are see things for what or what they are. I think that spirit has pushed me into this. Like I said, I've never talked about this in 12 years. So people have to understand the importance of that. They have to understand the importance of a female light worker speaking up for women and speaking up and trying to tell people that putting someone that is a misogynist and a rapist in the White House is not beneficial for women. Everybody that has been a sexual assault victim or that has endured some kind of abuse gets triggered when they see him, because the ones that know and know what he's done and believe the victims. If you've never endured anything, okay, that was weird. The doll just fell. If you've never endured anything like that in your life, then maybe you don't understand it, and maybe you're okay with allowing someone like this in the White House. But it's kind of hypocritical to sit there and point fingers at the brown community for their crimes while you allow a criminal to take over the White House that's been doing this for ages. And that's, I think, what triggers me the most. That's what I think has made me talk so much about this, is because it is a time for women to stand up. It is a time for us to speak up. It is a time to allow our voice to be heard in whatever way that may be. And I think that's going to happen. I think women are sick. We're sick of being treated the way that we're treated, like we're less than. Just like I don't know where the quote, I can't remember who said the quote, but there was a quote going around about the election, and it was like, she's expected to be flawless, well, he's expected to be lawless. And that's true. People literally chose, if this is legit, chose a criminal over a prosecutor. Well, not looking at the policies that Biden and Harris have done and sit there and say she didn't do nothing. When she did, she's done lots of things. She's very qualified. And the thing was, is she was a voice for all. She wanted to bring unity and love to the world, whether you liked her or not. And I don't think that was just her saying that. I'm telling you, her ancestors were strong. Her ancestors came to me. I felt very, very strong Aboriginal ancestry with her. They surrounded me during her reading. I felt them when I slept. So I don't make shit up. And if you're going to be on a psychic channel, then you should probably just keep in mind what a psychic says. If you don't want to trust and believe, and I haven't earned that from all the cases that I've worked and all the Autowrites I've done, where things have happened and then have been predicted, and that doesn't mean I'm perfect, because I'm still a human. Because any psychic that tells you they're 99 or 100% right, you run for the hills, because it's not possible. So people expect us to be mystical beings, and this was always my biggest fear, that people are always going to remember the times I was wrong versus the times I was right. They were always going to throw it in my face and say, oh, you just can't deal with the fact that you lost. Oh, you just can't deal with the fact that you were wrong. It has nothing to do with that. If I felt that there was anything right about this, if things actually added up and the math was mathing and things didn't feel off to every single light worker that I've seen and every single psychic and medium that I've seen, then I would just leave it. Okay, I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. There's lots of cases I'm not completely accurate on. That's part of being human. We are downloading from another realm. It's not easy to understand what visions are and what they mean and why we're seeing them. But there's things that spirit keeps repeating to me, and it doesn't have anything to do with a want or need or desire, or because I don't like the predator, because I don't like the monster that I see within him, because people haven't been in my head. They haven't seen the visions that I've seen. They haven't seen the fact that they've showed me him standing over a group of people with chaos below and him with devil horns. They haven't seen that. I've seen that. I seen that years ago before I ever got involved in this. Just like I saw his name crossed out. Like years ago. I don't control what comes to me, just like I don't control if I see two train crashes. Like, I don't know why every time I tap into this energy, I keep seeing two trains collide. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's symbolic or not. But, you know, People act like I can control the visions and I can control the cards, and I can't. Just like no other psychic medium can't. And I'm sick and tired of people judging us for what we see and what we get. It's bullshit. Sorry, but if you're going to follow a spiritual channel, then you have to be spiritual. And one more person says that he's of the light, I'm going to scream. I'm sorry. The light and God do not condone rape. They do not condone bigotry. They cannot condone racism. They cannot condone hate. They cannot condone criminality. And these are only the crimes that you all know about. But the fact is that he's never been held accountable for anything in his life. And now you're just letting him skate on by and continue to not be held accountable. But yet, if that was your husband that had all of these things, or your son, or anybody else, it's like they would be different. I think Spirit's been very loud on what people condone and where their morals lie, and how the Antichrist will make people feel like he's of the light. He will attract people like a cult. People will love him and he will be able to do whatever he wants. Will people still love him? They just showed me the devil having people on chains. Okay? Visions I can't control. They pop in. It's like the devil card. In the devil card, actually, they do have the chains, with people on them and the devil there. So that is actually the devil card. But I did see the tower. I did pull the tower card the other night. I did make a little video because I was going to pull extra cards. I don't want people to think that this is all that I'm going to talk about on my channel. I'm trying to mix it up. But I have to do lives to support myself. So I'm trying to give spirits a message, talk about what they need me to talk about. And when I feel like I'm done, I'll leave it alone. When they pull me back in, I get pulled back in. When I feel like there's a message, I'm going to say it. But I see people say, I'm sorry to use your gifts this way. I'm sorry. Who are you to tell me what to do with my gifts? You're nobody to tell me what to do with my gifts. I do with my gifts with the way that I'm led to do with my gifts, and that's why I have them. And I almost want to say to people, that's why you don't have them, because you would do what you want with them. I don't want to be like that because that's an ego thing. But I'm starting to get irritated at people telling me how to run my channel and what to do with my gifts when they're not in charge of me. Spirit's in charge of me. If Spirit pushes me one direction, I'm going to go that direction. And again, I've got Scorpio and Libra in my 9th house of spirituality, of learning, of justice. Libra is literally justice. It's justice on justice. And Scorpio, again, is a little bit obsessive. So, yeah. But it's because I'm also preaching justice. I'm preaching spirituality. I am a woman, and I do want to stand up for women's rights. I don't want to slap them in the face. It's it's just sad. If this is legit, I thought America was better, but I just don't think it's legit. You will never convince me. He will never be my president. You will never convince me. Anybody else in the world besides this man that I have been in his energy, I have sat in his energy, I have pulled cards, I have seen things that I feel like he's done that, guys. There's lots of things that you guys because people are triggered by factual information. First it all falls, then my camera went out. The bear went on before this. And I sat there on the couch and I felt her presence and I felt her touch me and say it was okay. Because I'm sorry, everything is not okay with her passing. He has his hands so dirty, no one even knows. But he's what you call a con man, and he's conned America again. It makes no sense to me. I can't wrap my brain around it. I don't understand it. I don't know if it's because he allows people to be criminals themselves, to be racist themselves, to be sexist themselves. Like, that's what a lot of people say. Like attracts like. And then we have people that are being selfish and only thinking about themselves because he's preaching he's going to save you. But we're forgetting about women. We're forgetting about everybody else's rights. We're forgetting about our freedoms. We're forgetting about taking a chance on something new instead of something old. But I think with Pluto into Aquarius, there's going to be a lot of shifts and changes. There's going to be revolutions. I'm telling you, women are done. Women are done. And it's a revolutionary time for them. And I would give anything for Trump supporters to not be stuck in the dark. I mean, I've seen Trump supporters that are open-minded that end up changing their mind because they're raising their vibration and they're seeing things for what they are. And if you're on a low vibration, you're going to be attracted to a low vibrational being that does low vibrational things. And nobody of the light would rape anybody. Nobody of the light would steal from people. Nobody of the light would be a criminal. Nobody of the light would, again, preach hate and bigotry and division. People of the light preach love, compassion, unity. They try to live the best that they can. They try to give to others. They try to be helpful. They try to understand all races and all beings and know that we're all just one soul. That is people of the light. People of the light is like people like me and other light workers that do what we're doing. People of the light are ones that spread truth. They don't lie 30,000 times. So the main reason, again, that I wanted to make this video is because the bear went off when we were talking about women and standing up in their power and standing up for their rights and standing up for themselves. And maybe protests are coming. Maybe they're getting loud. Maybe there'll be petitions. Maybe there'll be letters. But I feel like there's going to be protests and still. And I hope there's not like mean riots because it seems like one side is a little bit softer than the other side, but we're angry. We're angry and we're pissed off. And we don't want to go backwards. And we see what's coming. The people that are woke see what's coming, while those that don't remain in the dark. And like I said, the message that I got, that I saw when I switched on this channel accidentally the other day, was that Spirit wants light workers to stand in the light and to be the light for others that are in the dark. And I give those people compassion and love. I don't know if I can give full understanding because I honestly try to understand it. But I have a hard time because I'm about humanity. I'm about justice. I'm about peace, love. I'm about all the good things, all the things of the light, all the things of vibration. You can't tell me that this person is of God. You can look up the scriptures. I had them all down about what God feels about rape and what God feels about the way he acts. God never preached this way. Jesus preached love and compassion and unity. Love thy neighbor. To him, we are all one. We are all the collective consciousness. That is what somebody of the light and somebody of God preaches. So I'm sorry that I talk about things that triggers certain people, that it's the truth and it triggers you. I'm sorry about that. But you don't have to be here. I've lost many subs, and where you leave, the right ones will find me. I have no doubt that Vibe attracts tribe, and that all of this happened as part of as I've said before, it's been a test. It's been a test for me, and it's been a test for the followers, and it's been a test for people's morals, and see where they stand, and see if they really do want to follow a light worker that is of the light, that is preaching truth. And again, it's not about politics anymore. This is beyond politics. This is what's right and wrong. This is love over hate. This is light over darkness. This is standing up in the truth and standing up in our power. We don't have to take it. And people that have platforms, this is what the platform is for. And nobody forces you to watch any of this. You can pick and choose what videos you watch. You don't have to come to my video and start bitching about what it's about, because guess what? I don't care. I'm to the point, I literally do not care what people want me to do, because this is where I have a problem. I'm an Aquarius. I do not like to be controlled. I try to have understanding and not mute people. When people start telling me what to do and start trying to control my life and control my channel, I have a problem with that, because I'm in control of my own life. I'm in control of my own channel, and everybody can mind their own business about what I talk about, because guess what? I only talk about things if I'm guided to talk about them. I don't talk about things just for the fuck of it. Like I said, the bear went off, and I was thinking about women's rights and how they were going to stand up, and how that's what Pluto and Aquarius is. It's going to be revolutionary for women. We are not going to be silenced. California, Newsom is already putting plans into place to protect his state. And hey, California was hard for me. It was expensive. But, he's doing what he's got to do to protect his state, protect his environment. I'm telling you, something doesn't add up. Something isn't right. And all the light workers feel it. And if you don't feel it because you're on his side and you refuse to feel it and you want to stay in the dark, then that's totally your choice. But guess what? You have some hard lessons to learn. And just because you have hard 4 years, that's not always governmental. A lot of it can be astrology. A lot of it can be your own lessons, the blueprint you chose. There's a lot of factors. But, it takes time to rebuild after something falls apart and is put in the trash can. It takes time to get back to where we need to be. And actually, we have been the most progressive. They thought it would take a lot longer to get to where we are now, from 9 to 2.4%. And now we are still very fragile in our economy. And if he's in office, it's going to get wrecked again. And your grandchildren and your children are going to have to pay for that. And they'll also have to pay for a world that's falling apart because of climate changes. Because we don't care about our earth enough to take care of it. And we want to put somebody in office that doesn't give a crap about earth, doesn't give a crap about you or me or anything. The biggest thing is he wanted to do everything he could, break any law he could. Why is it so hard to believe? Just putting it out there that he stole this. He tried to steal it before in a different way. He tested the waters of the legal system. He saw what they look into. People preach about the 2020. There was an investigation into that. That's different. That was about hand ballots. This is something completely different. This is something about the difference in rally sizes, and then all of a sudden he flips every single swing state after the bomb threats and the popular vote and the Senate and the House. I mean, after he told you what he was going to do, like, look, the ball's going off. Like, how is that so impossible to understand? How is that so impossible to believe? We're talking about a criminal here that's gotten away with crimes his entire life, that has the connections to pull it off, that told you what he was doing. So, I don't want anybody else to tell me what to do, period. With my gifts, I use my gifts for what I feel I want to use them for. And this is important right now. I still have other things I'm working on behind the scenes that I'll release. I haven't had the real energy to like do readings. As you know, this is more of like just like telling you what I feel. That's why I haven't really done a lot of readings. I'm really tired from last night's live, so I'm trying to figure out what I can do tonight, case wise. But my biggest thing is about women. I wanted to tell you that I love you, and I wanted to tell you that Spirit loves you. I wanted to tell you that you chose to be here right now for the lessons that are coming. It's a time for women to stand in their power. We have 40 years of this revolutionary period where things are going to change. And the one thing I keep seeing, and I hope it's not right. And for those of you who don't believe me, and like I said, we can always change it with our free will, right? But Nostradamus had some predictions about Trump, the trumpet, and him starting World War III. Look, ball's going off. And they want me, I guess that's a validation what they want me to talk about. Sometimes I look out this window here and everything looks gray, and I see nothing but things burning and things in destruction. And that's a path with Trump. And that's why Spirit has been so loud for months. And that's why I'm not the only light worker that has been trying to tell you this. I'm sorry, but I and everybody else, this legit light worker, can't get it wrong. It's impossible for every single one of us to get the same exact thing and it be wrong. It's not. It's just not going to happen exactly as we thought. We just see the visions and we just tell you what we get. We don't know why or how or everything. We're just human, just like you are. We just chose to tap into our gifts and become light workers. I have a lot of past life stuff. So there might be something related to what's going on right now, since I've never talked about it in 12 years that I've done anything. There might be something related to my past life that's going on right now that I'm talking about, that's triggering me this lifetime that I need to talk about. And Spirit just told me to bring that up because they showed me my chart and they showed me where my midheaven is. And I remember my astrologist friend telling me about my past life. And I feel that for some reason, there's stuff going on right now that's related to that. Whether I was in some sort of revolution at one time, whether I was, I don't know. I feel like I've been a truth speaker for quite a while. And the truth is always important to me. The light is always important to me. Shining the light on the truth is important to me. Educating people on how this works, bringing people out of the dark into the light with open arms. That's what's important to me. So I'm just going to start deleting. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to delete the comments or mute the people that start telling me, like, I don't want to watch this. Why are you using your gifts for this? Because it's not up to you. This is my path. You have your path. I have my path. You might not understand why Spirit is giving me what they're giving me and putting me on this path. And I don't even understand it either. But I have to follow. I have to follow where I'm led because it's for a reason. And it doesn't matter if you like it or not. And if I post facts and it triggers you, no one's forcing you to be here. Like I said, I've lost enough subs at this point. It is what it is. When this is all said and done, or when people start learning their lessons, or they start seeing exactly what's going on, or things start coming to light, just like in cases, people will come back. And they'll say, you know what? Damn it. Should have waited, should have listened. Because a lot of times I've been told things aren't going to happen or whatever. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. We don't know. Nobody knows. Things might look one way now, but they can change in an instant. It's a whole crazy thing about how this works sometimes. So, anyways, women, remember your power. Remember you're loved by Spirit. People might not care about your rights, but you know that you have them. You're loved by Spirit. That's all I can say. You're loved by your loved ones, your angels, the other side. Women are powerful mothers. They're powerful friends. They're powerful confidants. You chose to be a woman in this time, this place. Because we are fighting for the future generation. We are fighting for our daughters. And I know that a lot of people voted for Kamala to fight for their daughters. They took a lot of their daughters to vote for her. for the first time. Can you imagine the amazing experience taking your daughter to vote for the first woman president? And if this wasn't rigged, shame on America.